Andy, time to take us inside the locker room where we heard from a bunch of players and, of course, Coach Robert Saleh, headlined by the hero of the day, Garrett Wilson. And if you did what I did and took Garrett Wilson as one of your daily fantasy entries on the player projections at prizepicks.com, you did very well because he needed to get more than 30 yards. He got a lot more than 30 yards. Here's how it works if you want to play coming up over the next couple of days, or of course for the next game with the Jets, although I would assume that next week against the Bengals, the player projection for Garrett Wilson is going to go up, so it's not going to be 30 yards. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people, just you versus the projection available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport you want, so it could be football, NFL, or college, basketball, the NBA, or college, UFC, tennis, whatever you want. It's all available at prizepicks.com. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code PLAJ. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter the promo code PLAJ at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100 at prizepicks.com. So, Andy, what did Garrett Wilson and everybody else have to say in the locker room after the game?
Yeah, we'll start with Garrett Wilson. And basically what he had to say was, first of all, that he was grateful for the chance at a little bit of redemption after that drop. He thought that he had probably blown the chance for them to win the game when he had a drop with them down by 7 in the fourth quarter and a play that would have been a first down. He said that basically he thought it was over and that he was grateful to have the chance to go back and do that. In terms of why he was getting so open, he said that he got great looks from his scout team throughout the week and great preparation from the coaches. And he said that preparation during the week helped him feel really comfortable out there on Sunday. And he had some interesting remarks about Joe Flacco and how much he likes playing for him. He said, "I love Joe, the way he goes about his business, is that he understands the way the NFL is, and you can tell by looking at him. When everyone is trying to figure it out, we can be a little bit frantic sometimes running around the facility, and Joe is just kind of walking through there. It translates to the games too. It translates to how he goes about preparation. He's in control, and he really wants to be on the same page of all of us, especially with the younger dudes." And he says that he values every rep in practice that he gets with Flacco because he's the quarterback right now, and the chance to build that chemistry has been really cool. With Robert Saleh, he addressed everything. Obviously, he was very excited about the end result. He said you could hear it in the locker room, the kind of the intensity and just the overall good feeling after getting a win like that. He said, "We're off the snide. I love the way this feels." But Saleh also did a good job, and this is not something he's always been good at, of putting it into perspective right away. He said, "We have to find a way to stack them up. There's a lot of stuff that we have to clean up, but I'm just proud of the guys because we didn't quit. That's probably the biggest thing I'll take away from it." Saleh, also said that was interesting. That the Browns that Chubb didn't go in on that touchdown. He said immediately when that happened, he said he's never been so happy for a missed tackle in his life. He's talking about DJ Reed not being able to bring down Nick Chubb on that touchdown in the fourth quarter with 1:55 left. Here's more from Saleh. "That was our only chance. Credit to the offense that stepped up and took advantage on the busted coverage on Corey's play and left us enough time to get the onside and the win." He also said that, basically that as soon as Chubb didn't go into the end zone, the coaching staff on the headsets, the same words were echoing, like, "Okay, they gave us a chance. Let's see what happens." And what happened is the Jets took advantage of that chance and won the game. Saleh was also asked about, obviously it was a difficult week for him, taking a lot of criticism about his comments about the receipts, and obviously he also took some heat for sticking with Joe Flacco. He could have perhaps, you know, as he alluded to earlier in the week, shoved it down someone's throat today. But I thought his response was perfect. No, we have to win a hell of a lot more games or we have to win a hell of a lot more than one game to cash in on those. And he's referring to the receipts, of course. So without even bringing it up by name, he acknowledges kind of the tumultuous week that he had, and I thought with a perfectly appropriate comment that shows that yeah, we're happy we won, but we know we have a hell of a lot more work to do, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from Saleh in this game is that the Jets did a lot of good things, and it's a lot easier to preach to your team about lessons and what you can learn from your mistakes when the end result is a win. I asked Saleh about that, and he said, "Yeah, it's just it's a whole lot easier, and it's so much easier to have conversations. But the conversations with these guys still have to be real. It still has to be hard. We still have a lot of stuff to get fixed, and that is accurate." Joe Flacco had a lot of interesting things to say. He said it was probably one of the craziest games he's ever been involved with. He particularly noticed the moment. I mean, and just going back to that real quick, he said, "I don't know where it ranks, but it's up there." At one point, you're sitting on the bench. It looks like they had the opportunity to run the clock out, and then obviously when he scores, you're thinking, "Okay, that's not what he's supposed to do." But I'm sure they were still thinking it's 30-17. But then the deep ball to Corey Davis, and that's where Flacco said it was just one of the strangest and most interesting moments of his career. He said the crowd got so quiet at that point that it was just bizarre because the stadium was still mostly full, but like everybody went silent and it kind of like seemed like they knew what was coming. And here's what he had to say about that. Obviously, when you see him going to the sideline, turn up the field, he's on top of the corner, and you have the ball going, and then no one is anywhere near him. It was a really weird feeling because of how quiet it got in there. You almost felt like there was a penalty or something. Obviously, we were in Cleveland, so it makes sense that it got that quiet. But that feeling was something I've never felt before, how quiet it actually got out there. The game wasn't over. There was actually still a minute and a half left. And yeah, the Jets still had a lot of things they had to do. But they did them all. With Garrett Wilson, he said, "I'm really happy for him. There's a lot of guys on this, him and a lot of the guys on this team. We've known that the lights aren't too big for him, that he's already grown up and he's capable of playing in this league, but you really aren't going to have people be able to say that about you until you win football games. So that's why winning is so big in this league. It just cures all those things, all those issues you have, no matter how the outcome or how this game turned out. Those things are all true, but nobody cares, rightfully so. And that's why winning is so big." And one more from Flacco on Wilson's last touchdown. When Mike, the offensive coordinator, called the play in the huddle through my headset, I had a smile inside. Their safeties are tight, but they're playing pretty soft. We're trying to call a couple things to get in that hole behind the linebacker. This just gets you there pretty fast. They're playing so soft that I was throwing that ball no matter what. If I had to manipulate that backer a little bit and come down to the short guy, then I was going to do it. I was going to find some little window there to hit him, and obviously it was a pretty big window. And he found him with the touchdown pass. The other interesting thing, DJ Reed said initially he wasn't real happy that he allowed Chubb to get the touchdown, and then he went back, watched it on the iPad or whatever, the tablet on the sideline. And then he starts watching the offense, and he very quickly got into that. And he said that as soon as they recovered the onside kick, he knew they were going to win. There was never a doubt in his mind. Saleh said the same thing. And I think CJ Mosley said the same thing. Now, interesting thing to tell you just about how crazy this game was. DJ Reed is pretty experienced. CJ Mosley is very experienced. Neither one of those guys knew the score on the final drive. So when Ashton Davis had the interception, they were like, "Why'd you go down?" Like they didn't realize that the extra point had been missed, and then they realized it and they were happy. So it just kind of goes to show you just how crazy this game was. And last but not least, Sheldon Rankins. He's a very kind of reflective guy, and I think he has a really good handle on the pulse of the locker room. And I asked him about how much easier is it when you win to take these lessons. and he said that he basically has this theory that he lives his life by, that like if you prove it, um, it's a whole lot easier to get it done. I'm not doing justice to his words because I don't have the direct quote in front of me, but basically he's saying that once you win and you prove to yourself that you can win, doing it again becomes a whole lot easier. And he thinks that for this team, even though this win came in an unconventional way, it's going to have that kind of effect on them and really help them moving forward. I could keep going. This was obviously a very happy locker room, as CJ Mosley told us after. It was crunk in there after the game. I don't think he spelled that properly when somebody asked him to spell it, but that's about the only thing that didn't go great for the Jets today. It was a very happy locker room and a very good day for this football team.